The following podcast you're about to listen to is brought to you by the Push Start Media Network, where everything you do in life begins with pushing start. Your Enthusiasm Podcast. You know me, I am your humble host, Bryce Benjamin. And unfortunately, co-host Ed Reuter is out today, not feeling too well. So we're going to go ahead and let him rest. But fortunately, we have a more than capable replacement. My guy, you know what? I'm not even going to do it justice. I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I already know the type of energy you bring in. Go ahead, sir.
It's your boy, C-Ham, a.k.a. The Nerd, a.k.a. the World Heavyweight Champion of Live Broadcasting. And you can't spell champion without it. What's up, everybody?
What
Push
is
Start Media Network, stand up.
Stand up, baby. We is here. See, what's good, my dude, man? How you been?
Man, I've been good. We've been doing a lot of moves here at the network. So shout out to you for being a part. Shout out to Ed.
Sir.
Appreciate the content y'all constantly bring for us.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Sir.
So I'm just extremely grateful and happy for all the connections we've been making, and it's been a good time.
Yeah, it has, man. It has, and I do appreciate that you. Shut up, Phoenix. I do appreciate that you covered through and had us join the network, and first of all, gave us that opportunity. And it's been dope. It's been real dope. But
it's a pleasure to have you for sure.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. But you guys, you see what's going on. You see the title of the episode. You know what we're talking about. Just announced his retirement earlier, officially retired. The man, the myth, the legend, the deadman himself, the Undertaker, calling into career. Man. What a fucking ride, dude. What, bro. 30 years?
Yeah, when you think about it, there's probably not very many legendary careers that extend that long. I can only think of maybe Chris Jericho. Mm-hmm. Being the only other person that still lasts, still actively being involved in the wrestling world. Yeah. But that longevity speaks for itself.
Seriously, man. And for me, it's the longevity with it, but the fact that he's able to maintain such a peak performance throughout all of it. He spanned it 3 decades. Mm-hmm. Of performances and giving us entertainment and going out there and just doing what he does.
And going along with that, one thing that's really amazing that speaks to his character and ability is, as you said, 3 decades. In those 3 different decades, it's all different styles of wrestling, totally different rosters of wrestlers. So that shows he was able to interact and connect with no matter what the talent was at the time.
Seriously, man. And I think it just speaks to a testament to not only him as a wrestler, because his in-the-ring stuff, you see what it was, man. Just a big, it was stupid to see somebody that big, but that agile and that quick and that fast, and then have him all be able to perform that in the ring. But then also it speaks to him as a person. Yep. For him to be able to go from the 90s to the 2000s, to the 2010s, and be able to, like you said, work with just different levels of talent and always just bring
character
and change his character.
Well,
right.
Yeah. That was one thing that I felt the documentary did a really good job at making mention of, is the fact that, his character had to change at a certain point, when he was going from the deadman to the American badass. And it just shows that you can evolve with your product. You don't have to stay stagnant, and you can still be just as relevant and impactful.
Right.
Can you imagine him trying to portray that deadman character during the Attitude Era? I don't think it would have worked.
I feel you on that one, man. I feel you on that one. And And then also a Big Evil character, like which is like a culmination of both the Deadman and also the American Badass. So like he just had different personas and they all worked. Like they all worked. Like it was must see TV.
And so like you said, his in-ring acumen is just you're not supposed to be that big and be that skilled.
Seriously. Listen, I was watching yesterday. I was at work and I was watching his debut. His debut as Undertaker. When he came in that the Survivor Series, I believe it was, Elimination. Yep. And just like you can hear it, like you see the crowd,
the reaction,
like the reaction of everything. He comes out,
they're like,
yeah, like what is this dude? Like who is this guy? And then it starts off, and nobody can hurt him. And he like the funniest shit ever. Like the first 20 seconds of the match, he just choking out breath.
Bro. Just a testament to his ability to sell his character at all times. Like,
yes.
He knew what he was trying to portray and what emotion he wanted you to feel.
Yes.
So he gave you that in the ring.
And then freaking he tombstoned the black dude, Coco. I'm like, that might have been the worst tombstone I think I've ever seen. That looked devastating. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, is he okay? But
Vince McMahon must have been like, when you go out there, I want you to pile drive his head through the canvas.
Through the canvas. Just do it. Just do it. It's okay. Just be okay. So that was pretty dope, man. Now I got a question for you.
Yep.
What was your first impression when you originally seen Undertaker for the first time? So lay it out the moment for us. What do you remember about when you first seen him, and then what was your first impression about him when you first seen that character?
It was kind of the exact same reaction of what we saw on TV, because I was probably around the same age as a lot of those kids when it happened. I think he debuted in, 91, 92? Mm-hmm. So that would have made me like 4, 5 years old. So when I first saw that, it was just like, it's like seeing a ghost, or it's like seeing like the boogeyman being personified. It's like, as a kid, you're like, every little thing scares you, especially the unknown. And here they are building this man from God knows where. And he's just coming out all black, just ominous, just walking like, at that time, all the characters were all bright, colorful, gimmicky.
Yeah.
He was totally different from everything that we were used to seeing. So like the shock to my eyes, it was just like, it's like one of those things that you're afraid of, but you can't take your eyes off of it. It's like, oh my God, this dude's mad imposing, but I want to see what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And then like when he gets in the ring, the thing that amazes me the most is his ability to change speed. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of his matches start out real slow, real like driven out pace, where it's like locks and grabs and, strikes in the corner. And then just out of nowhere, he just flips the switch and just runs and just doing flipping lariats and just like, how can you just change your speed and direction like that? It's just something I never saw before. And I don't know, I think it kind of changed the mold of what a big man in wrestling should look like.
Yeah, because like before he really debuted, like the big men that you had Andre, obviously the most famous probably at that time was Andre the Giant.
Yep.
And then you had Hulk Hogan, 6'6", 6'8", 300 pounds. And like they had just traditional big men moves, clobber here, big boot there, body slam here,
slams, brawling. That's
right. But then Undertaker comes in, and then like you said, you see a dude who's moving as fast as a lot of the little guys, and then you see just a big ass dude just flying through the air, flying clotheslines.
His technique too is like, I always loved, the way his locks were implemented, like as he's going to the corner to walk across the ropes on you. It's just like, it's so deliberate. He has an emotion he wants you to feel, like he's taking his time with you. It reminds me of like when you're watching like a scary movie and like the villain is around somewhere, but you think you got away, and then as soon as you turn around, they're like right there. Like it always felt like that to me when you watch The Undertaker.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I think, and he had to do that on purpose, where that's what you wanted to feel like. You're watching like a movie character villain just performing his art, but in the ring, live action. Yeah. And that's exactly what it felt like. Everything was like methodical and thought out and smooth. But then all of a sudden, like you said, that change of pace would come, and then boom, flying clothesline out of nowhere. Like, and
he would always spark it off with that flying, flipping lariat. And I'm just like, bro, you 6'8". Why you doing that? Why you doing that?
Yep.
Just amazing.
I remember the first time that I ever, my earliest memory, I should say, of him was WrestleMania 1996. I can't remember the actual WrestleMania that was. The one that Shawn Michaels won the belt for the first time against Bret Hart in the Iron Man match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boyhood dream.
Yes. So I had that tape on VHS. I used to watch it like at least once a week when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And this is like my first remembrance of Undertaker is when he had wrestled Kevin Nash, Diesel at the time. And I remember like they showed the videos that was leading up to that match, how he had like Kevin Nash's body in the casket and Kevin Nash is looking at himself in the casket and shit. How he pulled him under the ring during like a cage match that he had with Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. And then like
just that build up for everything.
Yes, this build up. And then they actually had the match itself. And then just seeing, first of all, like Kevin Nash, like the back and forth was awesome, first of all. But then seeing Kevin Nash hit him with 2 power bombs, hit him with 2 jackknives. Boom, boom. And then, you know, he still gets up from it.
Sit up.
Right. Yeah. That's like my first, like, yo, oh my God. Like, what is going on? This dude is.
I'm like, he can't stop this, man.
So, yo, it joint was nuts, man. And then, you know, eventually got him in the tombstone and finished him off. And then, like, everything about it. And then on top of that, I thought another nice piece that everything just fit together was his manager, Paul Bearer, where you had just the creepy, like just a creepy little dude with the urn in his hand. And he got the creepy voice and he just selling it like that. It just did it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, just, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, do that again. That was perfect.
Oh, yes. Yo, Paul Bearer, rest in peace. He's probably like, I don't think Undertaker's impact would have been felt as strongly as it was without him. Like, I love that they took so much information for the documentary, because it showed how much like Paul Bearer studied what kind of role he was trying to play for the Undertaker, and even what kind of idea the Undertaker was trying to portray as the character. And it was just like, you could tell that he had that same level of understanding and like creative control with what he wanted the Undertaker to be like, and Paul Bearer, that image they were trying to portray. I think it was like some of the best manager to, you know, superstar connection probably ever in the history.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's definitely top for me. It's top 3. Like that, that whole combination, the Paul Bearer, Undertaker, that tandem right there is legendary. And it even brought it back for a little while when, you know, Undertaker returned to his deadman form in the mid 2000s there, or 2010s. So I just thought like that, it just worked. Like it worked then. It worked when when they reintroduced it. And it just made sense. Everything about it was perfect, man. And then on top of that, once you throw in another character that kind of just fit into everything is when they introduced Kane with him, as his half brother who, you know, he had left in the house fire and thought he was dead. And then he came back and now he's just reigning terror on Undertaker now. Like that whole shit was dope.
I'll take you even a step like right before that. I feel like something that gets overlooked in Undertaker's career is all of his matches, not just his Hell in a Cell match with Mankind.
Yes. Oh shit.
I feel like that feud between those two is what truly propelled Undertaker's character to make you believe that he was this ominous figure, that, you know, this unparalleled being that couldn't be trifled with. And also, I think it helped push Mick Foley into a light that he probably would have never seen, because of the way their chemistry together was just, you just can't replicate that again. You can't fake that. When they had like the boiler room matches and things like that, and they were just sneaking up on each other, just, you couldn't really tell what was real and what was fake. It was like blurring the lines of kayfabe. Yeah. So I really think that's something. Of course, everybody always mentions the Hell in a Cell match between him and Mankind, but I feel like that feud is so much more than just that match, because before that match happened, they were fighting for like a whole year. Yeah. Like on Raw, just other pay-per-views and everything like that, for months and months and months, building up this legitimate beef with one another. Yeah. And like, then it, you know, culminated with him throwing him off the damn Hell in a Cell. Yeah. How that goes.
And it's I'm glad you mentioned that. All right, I'm glad you mentioned that because you're absolutely right. That whole feud that they had, I do remember like the boiler room